the message says there is no one to help. There is no one to get help. I listened.
I don't know if I exactly say that myself. So there is an appearance of a character that might want help or need help, and there's nothing wrong with the character appearing to get help.
Yeah.
But the character isn't the experiencer. The character is an experience appearing in this. So there's nothing wrong with appearing to do practices, even though it's not really somebody doing practices. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with doing all these things. Like, in a way, that's beautiful, and that's like love, like kindness, like improving yourself for everybody else, for society, for the interaction. But it's not somebody doing it. It's a happening, just like the tree growing and the wind blowing and the sun shining. And then when that person isn't suffering so much, then it can become more obvious that that person isn't the experiencer. So there isn't actually somebody who can get help. There's appearance of help happening to that character. That somebody doesn't inherently exist. There is no thing or consciousness experiencing itself now, and it's free.
Yeah, I hear this message from many, from different speaker, and for her, and before from Eckhart Tolle and Osho. I listened to Osho, and I still listen to Osho now. And he says the true meditation when there is no one meditate, when meditation happen by itself. And I can see I recognize that, but it's happened. Now it's clear that hearing happened by itself, seeing happened by itself. I don't do anything. This character don't do anything to hear or to see or to when there is pain or emotional pain. I don't do anything to feel the pain. When there is pain, the feeling happened by itself.
Right.
Yeah, but
there's the but.
The seeing happened by itself, by awareness. But
the seeing happens by awareness.
Yeah, I have started that seeing happen by awareness or life or nothing. Nothing it's seeing, nothing it's hearing. Yeah, but so for me, it's clear that hearing happened by itself. But okay, why I feel I'm not that live, that nothing that is hearing happened by it?
Yeah, because there's identification with the body. So there is seeking and identification with the body. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just feels like suffering.
Yeah,
so
because I feel that seeing happens through this eye, through these eyes, and
yeah,
seeing happen by itself. But
so
for my language.
Yeah, so when there's identification with the body, so when there is the seeking and the identification with the body, then it feels like you are experiencing this life and that you are moving through this world and that you're interacting with this world.
But it's clear that
but it's clear for your mind. Yeah, it's clear for your mind, but it's not that energetic awakening hasn't happened. So there's two things that happens. The mind becomes clear about this, and that's beautiful. This can be, if it's heard in the right way, it can be very relaxing for the mind. If it's taken on as a a way of behavior, then it can be disastrous. But often what it does is it relaxes the mind, this message, intellectually. But the intellectual seeing is not the energetic seeing. So when you see intellectually, there still is the energetic contraction that can happen. And so then the suffering still goes on. So the true message of this is in the silence, is in, the place in which these words are being spoken from. It's not in what they mean. It's not in the intellect. It's not in understanding. So lots of people understand this, and then they think they've got it, and then they can't understand why they still suffer, or they deny the suffering that's happening. But this isn't an intellectual message. It's that which is beyond the intellect. It's that which is experiencing it. The intellect appears in this, like the body appears in this. But that's so hard for the mind to see, because the mind is always looking in itself for the answer. So what is beyond the mind? So there is a freedom beyond the mind. And it's not behind the mind. It often feels like that. It's in the space. It's in the room. It's in the breeze. It's in the sound. It's in my face. And it's completely not intellectual. Intellect arises and disappears in this. It's love.
It's like a dream. In the dream, we feel we are separate. We are in this dream character, and we see the world in this dream, and we feel that we are in this character. But when we wake up, we know that the scene was not from this character. That was
totally. But it's not a knowing intellectually. It's a seeing beyond that knowing. So it's like in the dream at night. We often dream at night that we are a character inside the dream. So we dream that we're the personality structure moving around in that dream. And it's often this body that's in that dream, experiencing the dream. And it's not that character that wakes up in waking up from that dream. It's the experiencer.
The experiencer in the daydream and in the night dream is the same.
Yeah, sort of. It's a similar mechanism. Yeah, there's a dream happening. There's a dream happening right now of you that's going through time.
But the experiencer in this daydream is the same experiencer in the night dream. I compare it with the dream, and also say that when you look at this life as a dream, awakening can be happen.
It's a dream. Yeah, it's a dream. Everything about your life is a dream. It's not real. It's thoughts and images are appearing now. What is real is this moment, only ever this moment. Always this moment.
But this moment, for your dream character, it's different when awakening happens. It's
sorry.
It's what's happening. There's only what's happening. But for dream character, it's different.
Yeah, that's I think that you're trying to understand with the mind now. So what's experiencing these thoughts that are arising? Like, who's experiencing it? So the mind is thinking, and the mind is wanting to work something out, and that's beautiful. That has its place. And who is it that's experiencing, or what is experiencing that right now?
I don't know. The experience.
And to go to the experience rather than thinking, like
can't know it.
Just have an examination. So you say that, but just sit here. What's experiencing the thoughts? Who's experiencing the thoughts?
The thoughts are recognized.
They are recognized. The thoughts are appearing, and something is recognizing it, and that's it. Full stop. That's it, full stop. And the mind wants to have all these questions because it's in seeking. It thinks that the answer to these questions will save me in some way. So there is something that is experiencing the thinking. There might be even a person in between that. So there's the thinking and then a person judging it, but there is something that is experiencing what's happening now, and that is the freedom. The freedom isn't in you understanding me or understanding Osho or understanding anyone. It's in the experiencing, always. And the experiencing is no thing and all things, but the mind like goes and goes and goes, keeps trying to find something, because you'll get endorphins from it, you'll get highs, you'll get pleasure, you'll get excitement, and also it can become a lifeline as well. It saves you some things. But the experiencing is the freedom, not the thinking about it. You can do personal work that helps settle all that down. Like there's loads of work, like Osho recommends lots of different practices, and there's so many different practices out there. And I recommend that like to everyone, even though it's not them doing it, there's an appearance of them doing it. So it's not a prescription, it's a description of what may or may not happen. But the freedom is the experiencing that is appearing in. That is appearing in freedom. So the one that's asking the questions is appearing in freedom, and then it keeps trying to find something and grab onto something. And there's nothing to grab onto with the mind.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed.
Thanks for my language.
Yeah.
Sorry for my language.
No, not at all. You're doing fantastic.